And what we're going to do is we're actually going to discover actually the root cause, why you have these sugar cravings, and then of course, solutions on how to fix it for good. And I actually want to share the importance of actually learning why with one of my clients. I won't identify her. It's Mrs. Smith. And so Mrs. Smith came to me and she was actually 40 pounds overweight. And her biggest issue really was no matter what willpower she had, she was not able to stop the sugar cravings that she had. And it was driving her weight gain. And so she came to me, and once we discovered kind of why she was having these sugar cravings, and we worked on it, within a matter of a week, she was able to, well, actually it was 3 days. She was able to stop the sugar cravings and then actually drop the 40 pounds in just a couple months. So this information you're going to learn today actually really does work. And it works because you're actually finding the driver of the sugar cravings. Okay. So get your pen and paper, and we're going to start. And I'm going to start by saying most people really think that they have to knuckle fist their way to stop these sugar cravings. And it's not really actually that. It's not the willpower that is driving this. It's not you, actually. It's not even you at all. What is it, Reese?
It's the bugs.
It's the bugs.
The bugs.
It's the bugs. It's the bugs. So it's not you. It's the bugs. So there you go. So no matter what kind of willpower you have, you won't overtake the strength of these bugs. And what I mean by these bugs they're actually sugar bugs. And so for you, it's either going to be the Candida bugs or the parasitic bugs, because when they're actually driving your appetite, they're driving your cravings. And so if you can identify which one it is, knock them off, and then you won't even need the willpower because they won't be there for you to feed. So it's actually that easy. So it's actually not you, it's the bugs.
And that's one of the things that makes us a little bit different than a lot of other plans that are out there, is that, you may want to lose 20, 30, 50, 100 pounds. And you've tried many, many different things, and you really don't know why you haven't been able to do it. So what Michelle does through a process is find out what is the cause of the fact that you haven't been able to lose, or maybe you have been able to lose, but haven't been able to keep off the weight. And although we're going to talk about Candida and parasites today, it can be many other factors other than that if you're having that problem. So it really gets down to testing and finding out what the cause of the problems are.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to start right now. So get your pen and paper, and we're going to start doing some scoring. Okay. So we're going to test to see if it's actually Candida. So what I want you to do is get a pen and paper and mark 1 if the sign or symptom applies to you. Mark 1 if it's a sometimes or mild. Okay. Mark 2 if it's often or moderate, and mark 3 if it's very often or severe. So every sign or symptom that I mention, again, just record one of those numbers. And if you don't have any of those symptoms, then you would leave it blank. Okay. And at the end of this questionnaire, we're actually going to score ourselves to see if you actually have more Candida than your body needs. Okay. So the first one is if you've had
again, 1 for mild, 2, put a number 2 for moderate, put a number 3 down on your paper for often or severe.
Yeah. Okay. So the first sign or symptom is the following: repeated use of antibiotics or birth control pills.
1, 2, or 3.
Cravings for sugar, bread, or alcohol.
1, 2, or 3.
Indigestion or discomfort after eating fruits or sweets. So that means like gas or bloating, or even a stomach ache. Yeah. Severe reaction to perfume, tobacco, or chemicals. So what I mean by that is you're in a room and there's somebody who is wearing perfume, and you sneeze, like you keep sneezing, or you just feel ill.
Or you get a headache.
Oh yeah, you get a headache. That's true. Those would be severe reactions. Yeah. Intolerance to alcohol, God forbid. So if you have a glass of wine and you flare up. Yeah. Hypersensitivity to certain foods. Okay, if you have a lot of food allergies. Diarrhea or constipation. So if you have loose stools, like frequently, or if you are backed up. What I mean by that is if you don't have a bowel movement every day, you're constipated. This is a really sure sign of Candida, is rectal itching or bladder infections. That is pretty much a soft test that yes, you've got an overgrowth of Candida. Okay. And the other one is coated or sore tongue. So if you look in the mirror and your tongue is white, that's a sign of Candida, or if your tongue is sore. Okay. Scratchy throat or chronic, throat. What do you call those?
Sores?
Throat infections.
No, throat infections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chronic.
But it's chronic. It's constant.
Chronic.
It's not just one day you wake up and have a scratchy throat.
Yeah.
And you got Candida.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ongoing thing. You feel bad all over without an apparent cause is the next one.
Oh, you're jumping ahead.
I did. I'm a jumper.
Yeah, feel bad all over without a parent. So you just feel horrible. Okay. You don't know why. Feeling of being in a mental fog. So you can't put two and two together. It takes you a long time to think of, solve a problem. If you have psoriasis, that's a sure sign of Candida. Outward appearance. It's really showing up on your skin that you have Candida. Or even a rash that won't go away. Anxiety or depression. You are depressed with no apparent cause, right? Tiredness or feeling drained. So you're just exhausted. Again, another outward appearance would be athlete's foot, okay? Or toenail fungus or fingernail fungus. That's a good one. Allergies to airborne molds or sensitivity. You're around mold and you just flare up. Lots of coughing or headache. Allergy or sensitivity to fermented food. So that means kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those kind of things. Even kombucha. Yeah, that's another one. So PMS, if you're menstruating and you have severe cramps. Vaginal discharge, burning or itching, that would be likely an infection of some sort that won't go away. Endometriosis, uterine fibroids. So if you're growing things in your fibroids, in your uterus, that would be a sign of Candida. Prostate problems. So itchy penis, if you have that for sure, which is actually the next one, itchy penis or groin. Or prostate problems or impotence. So that means if you have like impotence, you want to share anything about that?
Trouble getting an erection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're going to want to now look at your scores. So 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe. And I want you to tally them up right now. Okay. And so once you've tallied them up, I'm going to give you the threshold as far as what a healthy number is and what a score that would indicate Candida is. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes, tally them up. Good one. Okay, so giving you enough time. So here's the thing. If your score is
8 or higher,
yeah, you likely have Candida. So now that you have identified why you have these sugar cravings and they are uncontrollable, it's really because you have grown bugs, they're called sugar bugs, I guess we call them, that are making you eat the sugar. So it's not you, it's the bugs. You've grown too many. So it's the Candida, okay? We're going to talk about solutions after, but the first part of this whole puzzle is identifying what's going on. Now we're going to move on to parasites. So if your score was 8 or lower, then it's not Candida. Maybe it's parasites. So this one here is a little longer of a questionnaire. And it didn't all show up here. So I'm going to have to stop this share and go to my next slide. But in the meantime, I'm just going to see if you guys can actually ask questions as well. And at the end of this, we are going to answer your questions. If you can have them, post them, and we'll actually answer them as we go. So I don't see any questions right now. So we're actually going to go back to the training. Just one moment. We're going to talk about parasites now. Those critters. Okay, here we go. So this is the Parasite questionnaire. All right. So on the screen, here we go. And again, get your pen and paper, and we're going to look to see if it's parasite. So you're going to indicate, as I go through these signs or symptoms, you're going to write a 1 for mild, a 2 for moderate, and a 3 for severe. Okay. And if it's nothing, then just leave it blank. So the first one is if you have restless sleep, if you toss and turn and you wake often, that's a sign of parasites. Okay. So the next one is skin problems, rashes, itches. If you itching on the skin, if you itch, that's a sign of parasites as well. So again, you write a 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe.
And these are constant itches. It's not just like you got a little itch one day and you scratch it and it's gone. It's constantly itchy.
Yeah. So increase appetite if you're hungry. So you eat and you're still hungry. You don't understand why. That would be another sign of parasites.
The parasite ate your meal.
Well, they're actually stealing your nutrition, just so you know. Those buggers. Frequent diarrhea, loose stools. So if you have loose stools that are not clearing up, they're not becoming more firm, and you don't understand why. Okay, here's another sure sign of parasites. So this would be grinding teeth when you're asleep. Okay, and so for this one, if it's a mild, you actually write a 2. If it's a moderate, you write a 4 because these are stronger signs. If you're doing this all the time, write a 6. They're higher numbers for this one. So the other one is inconsistent stool. So one day is constipation, the other day is diarrhea. So 1 for mild, a 2 for moderate, a 3 for severe. Write those down. Okay, this one I see kind of a lot. I don't know what it is, but picking of the nose. So you're bored and you pick your nose. So a mild is a 2 score, a moderate is a 4 score, and a severe is a 6 score. Because we know that these are more sure signs as well.
Abdominal pains.
So yeah, if you have abdominal, yeah, stomach pain. So 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe. The other one is around your mouth if you see vertical wrinkles.
That's up and down.
Yeah, up and down is vertical. Yeah. So a 2 for mild, a 4 for moderate, a 6 for severe. So you're going to write those numbers down. Okay, one of those. The other one is rectal, anal itching. I have to say this would be a sign of both Candida and parasites, but for sure parasites. 2 for moderate, no, 2 for mild, 3 for moderate, 4 for severe. Those are your numbers. Okay, so write those down if that's happening to you. So parallel lines or tracks in the soles of your feet. So you need to actually look at your feet to see that. 2 would be mild, 4 would be moderate, 6 is a score for severe.
So is that from the toe to the heels or across the foot?
Parallel lines, so from the toe to the heels.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Intestinal cramps or burning.
So you have spasms. Yeah. So 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, 3 is severe. So you write that down. The other one is if you're irritable and you don't even understand why. Like, why am I so irritable? For no apparent reason. I'm kind of like moody. Okay. 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, 3 is severe. If you're bloated, if you're gassy and you don't know why, feeling bloated, 2 is mild, 3 is moderate, 4 is severe. Alternating diarrhea with constipation. That's also with parasites, okay? So you're going to write a 2 for mild, a 3 for moderate, and a 4 for severe. Bowel urgency. So you actually, wet your pants when you're walking by accident, or even soil your pants by accident. So you don't have enough chance to...
No control.
No control. That's right. No bowel control. 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, 3 is severe. So write that down. If you tend to be nervous, a nervous Nelly, 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, 3 is severe. If you look under your eyes, and you tend to have these dark circles.
Constantly.
Yep. Even if you've slept well,
Mhm,
really.
mhm.
So 2 for mild, 3 for moderate, 4 for severe. Dark circles under your eyes. I've seen those a lot with other people. So the next one is a need for extra sleep. So if you wake up and you're not feeling rested, a 1 for mild, a 2 for moderate, and a 3 for severe. If you tend to be allergic to more things than you should, so food sensitivities, you eat and you have a reaction to just regular foods, 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe. So you're going to write that down.
So that would be like sneezing, itching, throwing up, that type of thing, right?
Mhm.
Scratchy eyes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Fevers of unknown origin.
Yeah. So you have this fever and it comes up, you're hot, and you have this malaise feeling. Yeah. 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe for that one. Night sweats that are not menopausal. Okay. You're sweating at night and it's not due to menopause. 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe. If you've been around a lot of pets and they've been licking your face, or if you kiss a lot of your pets, so 2 for mild, or 2 for sometimes, 3 for more often, 4 for all the time. So you're going to write that score down. They actually pass on parasites, even though they're cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is anemia. If you've been diagnosed with anemia, 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe. If you have constant sore throat, if you frequently get colds and flus, like just one after another, 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, 3 for severe. If you go barefoot in parks often, okay, you're walking around barefoot, 2 for mild, or 2 for sometimes, 3 for more often, and 4 for all the time. Like walking around on public streets barefoot. Mhm. If you've been in a third world country in the past 6 months, 2 would be, I guess, sometimes. 4 would be moderate, 6 for severe, like
Always there.
always. Yeah, you've been there a lot. Yeah, that's right. If you eat lightly cooked pork products, never do that. But if you have, and the pork has not been fully cooked, 2 for mild, 3 for moderate, 4 for severe. Or even 2 would be sometimes, 3 would be more often, and 4 would be, yeah,
Frequently.
it's actually happened a lot. Yeah, you got to cook your pork.
Eating sushi or sashimi.
Mm-hmm. So eating sushi or sashimi, 2 for sometimes, 4 for more often, and 6 for all the time. They have parasites.
Sleeping with pets on the bed. On the bed. Do you sleep with your pet all the time on the bed, sometimes on the bed, or often on the bed?
Yeah. So if it's sometimes, it's a 2. If it's more often, it's a 3. If it's all the time, it's a 4. So write that down.
Bedwetting.
So bedwetting, if you've every now and again, it's a 1. If you've done it more than every now and again, it's a 2. And if you have wake up with bedwetting more frequently, it's a 3. So for men, sexual dysfunction. How would you describe that?
Probably erectile dysfunction, where you're trying to have an erect penis and you're not able to. If it's happening every once in a while, if it never happens, it's 0. If it happens every once in a while, it's a 1. If it happens more frequently, if it's 2. If it's you never can, or if more frequently, it's a 3.
Okay. Yeah. So now we go into forgetfulness. So if you have really good memory, don't write anything. But if sometimes you do forget things, it's a 1. If more often, it's a 2. And if it's all the time you forget things, it's a 3. Slow reflexes. That's a good one. 1 for sometimes, 2 for more often, and 3 for, yeah, all the time. Loss of appetite. So, the Candida was a strong appetite.
Yeah.
And you can't,
ravenous.
yeah. So this one here is you actually have lost your appetite. 1 is sometimes, 2 is more often, and 3 is, yeah, I have no hunger at all. That's a 3.
A yellowish face.
Yeah. So if your face looks, yeah, kind of like orangey, 1 is a little bit, would be 1. 2 is, yeah, it is pretty orange or yellow. And 3 is, it's pretty, and that's without being in the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing to do with sun.
Nothing to do with sun.
Heartbeat, a rapid heartbeat.
Yeah. So if that happens once in a while, it's a 1. If it happens more often, it's a 2. If it happens all the time, like quite frequently, it's a 3.
Heart pain.
If you get that kind of stitch in your heart, right? I don't know if it's ever happened to you. 1 is sometimes, 2 is more often, and 3 is, yeah, it happens a lot.
You can feel like a pain or a sharp pain.
Yeah.
Or an ache.
Yeah, that's right.
Pain in the belly button.
Yeah, pain in the belly button. So that's a 1 for sometimes, 2 more often, 3 is, yeah, I get that a lot. Okay. The next one is blurry, unclear vision. Okay, that actually has to do with liver, but it has to do with parasites. So 1 is mild, 2 is more moderate, and 3 is, yeah, it's pretty unclear, your vision. Pain in your back, pain in your back. That would be a 1 for mild, a 2 for moderate, and a 3 for severe back pain.
And that's where you have it frequently. It's not every once in a while, oh, I lifted something and I have a pain in my back, or I walked for 35 miles and I have pains in my thighs, or I carried this and I have pains in my shoulders. It's on an ongoing basis.
It's like an ache.
Yeah. The next one is lethargy or tiredness or apathy. I don't give a crap about stuff.
Yeah. 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, and 3 is severe.
Numbness or tingling in the hands or feet.
Yeah. 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, and 3 is severe.
The only people that this may not apply to are people that have had an accident with the neck, which would cause tingling in the hands, or an accident in the lower back where the nerves go off and it could be affecting the feet.
So that's a mechanical thing. This is to do with parasites. So it's a different thing. Yeah.
Burning pains in the stomach or intestinal tract.
Yeah. Yeah. Burning pains for sure. 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, and 3 for severe. 3 could also be like often, right? Menstrual problems, a 1 for mild, 2 for moderate, and 3 for severe.
And that would be ongoing menstrual problems, right? Like not just 1 month, but ongoing.
It's like you can't figure it out. Why do I always have that?
Yeah. Dry lips during the day, but they're damp at night. Dry lips during the day, but they're damp at night. 1
for mild, 2 for moderate, and 3 for severe.
Drooling while you sleep. How will I know? You wake up with a wet pillow, a puddle by your head. Drooling while you're asleep.
And it kind of smells as well. It's got an odor to it. So 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, and 3 is severe.
Blood in the stool. So you're checking out the toilet and you go, oh, I didn't have beets.
Yeah.
What's all that red stuff there? Or you go to get a lab test.
Yeah.
And they say you've got occult blood in your stools that we've identified.
Yes. I've actually heard that quite a lot. 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, and 3 is severe. And they're really concerned about it. So it actually could be parasites for sure.
And if you have a history, medical history of Giardia or pinworms or worms of some sort, if you've had it ongoing, it gets a little higher rating.
Yeah, so 2 is sometimes, 3 is more often, and 4 is all the time. Yeah, you've had a history and it just keeps coming back, right?
And the last one is if you happen to swim in creeks, rivers, or lakes.
1 is sometimes, 2 is more often, and 3 is all the time. Okay. So I'm going to give you some time. We just finished those. I'm going to give you some. Yeah, there's quite a few.
There are.
But at the same time, this is such a good test because it's a really good soft test to see. So I want you to add them all up. I'm going to give you some time. I want you to add up all the points. Let's see where you're at.
And if you don't have a calculator or you can't add them quickly, we can leave it for a later time. But at the end of this, written a couple of minutes here, we'll just give you the totals, and then you can go back on it with your calculator and go, oh, here's where I am.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll give them a few minutes here. Tally it up. Okay, so yeah, we're ready. So if you scored below 10, no parasites. If you scored between 10 and 14, possibly. If you're over 15, so 15 to 20 is, I would definitely suspect parasites. Okay, that's for further investigation. The anal itching, I have to say, that's a pretty sure sign. Okay, constipation, diarrhea, alternating, that's also a sure sign. Those are really good. And itching, itching of the skin, those are sure signs of parasites. And again, if you're worse at night and it's the full moon, if you've actually identified that, that's also a sign of parasites. And the other one is if you look on your skin and you see patches of discoloration, almost like a puzzle, like puzzle pieces, that is also a sign of parasites.
And they could be dark patches or light patches.
Yeah,
so it
that's
could
true.
be like vitiligo type of thing where it looks like your skin is bleached in a certain area.
Yeah, those are also parasites. Okay, so we know that Michael Jackson had parasites. Yeah, so that's what I was, yeah. So, okay, so 21 to 25, likely, yes, parasites. And 25 or more, parasites are involved. Okay, so isn't that freeing to know? So I'm going to stop this share. Is that not freeing to know? Wow, all the way through here, I thought it was, I didn't have the willpower and maybe it's a habit of having sugar, but actually it's not. It's you grew the bugs that are driving the addiction. Isn't that free? If anyone here wants to post or comment or anything, but I think that would be amazing to actually know what it really was. So now that you've kind of scored yourself to go, it's, or maybe it's both, which is, yeah, but it can be both. And I'll explain why it's both. If your inner terrain, your body is conducive to grow bugs that want the sugar, then it can be both. It's a whole collection. Okay. And so your key is to change your inner terrain so they don't grow, so they just die off. You don't want to have a house that they like to live in. Right? So we need to clean the house. Okay. So I'm going to give you some steps right now to get started. Ready? The first one is you have to stop feeding them. And the best way to do that, okay, what do they like the most?
Sugar.
Well, sugar. Yeah, because this is all about sugar cravings. So the first step into stopping sugar cravings is stop the sugar. And I'll share with you how to do that. The easiest way to stop the sugar cravings is eat more protein. It's so easy. So if you eat more protein, you will actually likely stop the sugar cravings. Okay, so how much protein? 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. That's how much protein you need to consume in a day in grams. Okay, so for example, if your ideal body weight is 130 pounds, then you'd need 130 grams of protein in a day, and you divide it by 2 or 3 meals. Like that is the easiest way. Okay, I just shared a lot of struggle that you could have had. Okay, so the first one is stop eating the sugar. And how do you do that? Eat more protein. The second thing is you need to get rid of them, because if they're there, they will always crave the sugar and you'll always crave sugar. Okay, and you'll likely get overweight, you'll have fatigue, and you'll have brain fog, which we don't want. And what else feeds cancer? Sugar. Cancer feeds sugar. So this is actually going to be a real problem if you don't fix it. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some herbals that you can take internally to actually get rid of the parasites and the Candida. One of them would be berberis. We have black walnut. There's candicin. There's allicin. There's all these different ones that you can take. But you need to find someone who can help you find the right ones for you, because you can actually make a mistake. So find a professional. I'm happy to help, of course. This is what I do all the time. Just find someone who can help you find the right herbals to take to get rid of the sugar bugs. Here's the thing, never stop there. If you see a hair professional and they give you herbals, that would be a mistake if you didn't do 2 other things. This is what I see all the time. The first one is you need a catcher's mitt. You need to catch the toxins that are being released from the herbals. Here's what happens. You take the herbals, there's going to be a big battle in the body, because the herbals are going to go after the parasites and the Candida. There is going to be a battle, and there's going to be an aftermath. The aftermath are the toxins, okay? You've got to take a sponge to soak up the toxins. I call it a catcher's mitt. And so we use a sponge in our protocols to be able to grab onto the toxins to get it out of the body. Here's the key: out of the body, not recirculate it back in. You wonder why some people go on Candida cleanses and parasite and they kind of aren't themselves after? Yeah, because you just recirculated the toxins back into the brain. I hope that really nailed, just really helped you just there. Okay. If you can leave with anything, please make sure you work with somebody who can work with you professionally. Okay. Don't just go and do this on your own. It could be a real problem. So you need a catcher's mitt to soak it up. And then the last piece of this is you got to make sure that the organs of elimination, your liver, kidney, gut, those really need to be supported with the right things to be able to then start this detox, okay? Because remember, they're going to work overtime. The liver is going to clear the fat-soluble toxins, the kidney is going to clear the acid toxins, and the gut is going to need to be healed. All three of those organs need to be supported while you're doing a Candida or a parasite cleanse.
Yeah, and we have to remember that when those little guys are in there, they're reproducing and they're dying off. So what they do is they lay their eggs as they're being killed off. They're laying their eggs, and then the next family grows up and is still in your body. So you're getting rid of them over an extended period of time, right? It's not just 30 days. I took my herbals and they're gone, pooped them out and they're gone. There's a bunch of eggs in there. So new little rascals are growing. You have to kill off that batch. New little rascals are growing. You have to kill off that batch as well, right?
So I don't know if you paid attention to what Reese was saying, but it's actually 90 days. And if you go below 90 days, you're going to have a failed approach and you could end up in real dire straits. So I really believe we've given hopefully lots of value here, because we just want to be clear that you can't just go after them on your own. No, you really do need support. So as takeaways here, as a summary, before we let you go, I know we're 4 minutes over. Before we let you go, number one, you've identified why you have these sugar cravings. Okay. It's not willpower, it's the bugs that you're growing. Okay. The second thing is second thing is it's urgent for you to get rid of them, because if not, it could lead to real bad problems like cancer. Okay. Literally. The third thing is, if you do go after them, make sure you're with a professional who knows what they're doing. And when you do your homework and you find someone, make sure that there's a sponge involved and that they're opening up the organs of elimination while they go after the bugs, literally.
And we know, just a fun little factoid, we know that the moon affects the menstrual cycle, but it also affects these bugs. They get playful when the full moon comes out. So if all of a sudden you feel like, ow, you feel a little owly and fun, it could be your bugs just having a party down there. So let's get rid of them. Yeah,
because they're actually more active during the full moon and at night. All right. So Reese is right. That's good. So hopefully we've, got you thinking. And if you have any more questions, of course, you can always reach out to Reese and I. We're here really to help you with the right information to actually move the dial with your health.
And if you see somebody else, it's not you. You see somebody else with an itchy butt, or they've got white patches on their skin or something.
White patches.
Hey, maybe you've got parasites. You might want to talk to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, dark circles.
Look into it.
That's right. Okay. Have a great rest of the day, and we will see you next Wednesday, same time.
Happy holidays. Have a good one.
Love you.